The Force is finally getting ready to shake the galaxy again. Lightsabers are about to shine once more, and today we're talking about 3 massive projects that could completely change the future of Star Wars games. On one side, Jedi 3, which will finish Cal Kestis' story. On another side, Zero Company, which will explore the dark operations of the Clone Wars era, and most importantly, Fate of the Old Republic, a game with the potential to become the massive Star Wars RPG people have been dreaming about for years. And honestly, if these 3 games are done right, a new golden age for Star Wars games could begin. Star Wars Jedi 3. The Star Wars game I'm looking forward to the most is definitely the sequel to Jedi Survivor, because Respawn has now officially confirmed that they are working on the final chapter of Cal Kestis' story. So this isn't just a new Star Wars game. It's going to be the big conclusion to the story we've been following since Fallen Order. And honestly, after Survivor, my expectations are incredibly high, because the second game took the series to a completely different level both in terms of story and gameplay. The story is most likely expected to continue directly after the ending of Survivor. At the end of Survivor, the whole Tanalorr situation became extremely important. Cal, Merrin, and Greez were basically trying to turn it into a safe place for people escaping the Empire. So in the third game, we'll most likely see the hidden path growing, the Empire going after Tanalorr, and Cal fighting not just for himself anymore, but for other people as well. But I think the most important part of the story will be Cal's psychology. Because in Survivor, the man clearly started getting close to the dark side. Especially his bursts of anger, the moments where he lost control, and the way he became increasingly harsher toward enemies were not shown for no reason. Cal's mind is basically turning into a battlefield. Honestly, I would love to see this grow even more in the third game. Cal struggling with the anger inside him, and sometimes being tempted by the dark side, would make the story much more interesting. They could even do something very interesting with the gameplay here. For example, just like the Venom suit temporarily changes the gameplay in Spider-Man 2, it would be amazing if Cal could use dark-side powers in certain sections. The story doesn't have to turn him fully into a Sith, but they could let the player taste that power. More aggressive force attacks, harsher finisher animations, abilities where we control enemies in a more brutal way, all of that would fit really well. And on the gameplay side, Respawn already has an incredibly strong foundation. In Survivor, the lightsaber stances were much more developed. With single blade, dual wield, blaster stance, crossguard, and more, everyone could find a style that fit them. In the third game, they are expected to expand this even further. Especially smoother stance switching, force powers being more integrated into combos, and boss fights becoming much more cinematic all feel very likely. Some rumors say the game will have larger open areas. Survivor was already much more free than Fallen Order, but in the third game, planet exploration is expected to become even bigger. Especially if there are completely new areas like Tanalorr, Respawn could design more mysterious, darker locations with a stronger ancient Jedi feeling. One of the things I'm most curious about is how much choice the game will give the player, because if you set up the dark side issue this much in Survivor, you now need to deliver on it. Maybe it won't be a full RPG system, but they could give the player the chance to choose the easy path of power in certain moments. And honestly, I would love to see something like that. If Respawn does this right, Jedi 3 won't just be a good Star Wars game. It could truly turn Cal Kestis into one of the best Star Wars characters in gaming history. Because the story is no longer just about how many Jedi are left. It has moved directly into a place between the character's emotional collapse and hope. Star Wars, Zero Company. The second major game is Star Wars, Zero Company. This game will be completely different from the Jedi series, because this time, instead of an action-adventure game, we're getting a turn-based tactics Star Wars game. So the old-school strategy style where we think about every move like a chess match will be at the center. Honestly, for people who love XCOM-style games, it looks pretty interesting. The story takes place during the final years of the Clone Wars. In the game, we will control a former Republic officer named Hawks. This character will lead a special squad called Zero Company, made up of soldiers, mercenaries, and specialists gathered from different parts of the galaxy. So it looks like we'll be seeing the dirty side of war here, rather than a classic Jedi story. On the gameplay side, character management seems like it will be very important. Because the soldiers in the squad will have different abilities, different classes, and different roles during missions. Character customization, base management, squad upgrades, and mission planning systems are also expected to be included. Some information even suggests the game may have permanent injury systems and permadeath-style mechanics. If that really happens, things could get seriously intense. Honestly, this is not usually the type of game I play the most. When it comes to Star Wars, I usually lean more toward Jedi, Sith, and big stories. But if the Clone Wars atmosphere, special operations concept, and tactical combat system come together properly, this could become an incredibly addictive game, especially for people who love XCOM, Star Wars, Fate of the Old Republic. The third game holds a very special place for me, Star Wars, Fate of the Old Republic, because the moment this game was announced, everyone immediately thought of KOTOR, and the fact that Casey Hudson is leading the project was already enough to get people excited. After all, he worked on both Knights of the Old Republic and Mass Effect. The game will take us to the Old Republic era, and I think that is the best part. Because in modern Star Wars games, Jedi are usually hiding, being hunted, or on the edge of extinction. But during the Old Republic era, Jedi are still one of the great powers of the galaxy. They are respected, they are at the center of wars, and the Sith threat feels much bigger. On the story side, official statements say the player will be a Force user, and that their decisions will balance between the light side and the dark side. So most likely, we will shape our own character, and that's exactly where the KOTOR spirit begins. Because for years, people have not just wanted an action game, they have wanted a massive Star Wars RPG, where their choices truly matter. Honestly, the moment I heard the phrase spiritual successor to KOTOR, I was already excited for the game. Because people have been waiting for a Star Wars game like this for years. Survivor was great, yes, and it satisfied some of our Star Wars hunger, but this promises something different. A larger-scale RPG, bigger stories, bigger choices, and an era where we are right in the middle of the Jedi-Sith Wars. On the gameplay side, the game is described as an action RPG, so we probably shouldn't expect the exact same fully turn-based structure from the old KOTOR games to return. We could see a more modern combat system, cinematic dialogue, character relationships, and a structure where Force powers are used actively. If they combine a Mass Effect-style dialogue system with modern lightsaber combat, something incredible could come out of it. The most important part, in my opinion, will be the choice system. Because if this game truly wants to carry the spirit of KOTOR, the player's decisions need to have serious consequences. Not just good answer, bad answer. Characters' opinions of us, quest outcomes, and even the balance of the galaxy should change. And honestly, that is exactly what I want to see. Also, the Old Republic era already offers an incredibly powerful atmosphere on its own. Playing in a time with thousands of Jedi, rising Sith empires, and galaxy-wide wars is exciting by itself, because this is one of the freest eras in the Star Wars universe. You don't have to stay tied to the Skywalker story. Right now, there aren't too many details about the game, but the potential is unbelievably big. If they truly combine the spirit of KOTOR with modern technology, this could become the massive Star Wars RPG fans have been waiting for all these years. And honestly, among these three games, that possibility is one of the things that excites me the most. As you can see, my friends, things are never calm in the galaxy. Are you more excited about Cal Kestis' dangerous flirtation with the dark side, returning to that massive Old Republic atmosphere we've missed, or is a strategy-filled squad management experience more your thing? Do you think Cal Kestis will become a true hero by the end of his story, or will he turn into a tragedy? And among these three games, which one is your "I have to play this on day one" favorite? Make sure to share your theories with me in the comments, and let's discuss the future of the galaxy together. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss videos like this and the hottest news from the gaming world. I'll see you in the next video, and take care.